SQL interview questions and answers 161 to 171. Question number 161. How to fetch alternate records from a table. Based on provided web search result, there are different ways to fetch alternative records from a table depending on the context and requirement. If you want to fetch alternate records based on how row numbers, you can use the row number function and apply modulus to categorize into even or odd records. If you want to fetch alternate records from two tables, you can use the union all operator and add an order by clause to sort the combined result set in a specific order. It's worth noting that SQL tables represent unordered sets, so there is no such thing as even and odd rows. If you interpret the question as wanting rows where a specific column is even or odd, you can use conditional statement in the where clause to filter the result set. Question number 162. How to select unique records from a table. To select unique records from a table, there are different methods that can be used in SQL. One of the most commonly used method is distinct keyword, which returns only distinct values. For example, to return all unique records from employees table, we can use the following SQL query. SQL query is like the select distinct asterisk from employees. Asterisk means all from employees. This query will return all the unique records from employee table even if at least one column has a unique value. Another method is to use the distinct on keyword in Postgres. This keyword can used to return distinct records based on a specific column. For example, to select distinct records based on column 2 column in table 1 table, we can use the following SQL query. Select distinct on column 2 column 1 comma column 3 from table 1. This query will return distinct record based on the column 2 column while keeping the values of column 1 and column 3 columns. It's important to note that the distinct can have an impact on performance, especially on large table. Therefore, it's recommended to use it judiciously and consider other options such as group by or subqueries if possible. Question number 160. What is a command used to fetch first 5 characters of a string? There are several ways to fetch the first 5 characters of a string in SQL, as described in the following section. One approach is to append 5 white space characters to the original string and then cut off the first 5 as following: your string variable plus double quotes dot substring 0,5 dot trim. Another way is to use substring function to extract the first 5 characters of the string. For example, select substring student name, 1, 5 as student name from student. The substring function can also be used in combination with left function to achieve the same result. Select left student name, 5 as a student name from student. The substring function is a standard SQL function as available in most SQL database systems. For instance, the function can be used in SQL Server as follows: select substring column underscore name, 1, 5 as a new column underscore name from table name. In summary, the substring and left functions are commonly used to fetch the first 5 characters of a string in SQL. The exact syntax may vary depending on specific SQL database system being used. Question number 164. Which operator is used in query for pattern matching? The operator used in SQL query for pattern matching is the like operator. The like operator is used in where clause to search for specified patterns in a column. It allows for pattern matching in SQL queries and makes them more flexible than using the equal and not equal string comparison operators. There are 2 wildcard characters often used in conjunction with the like operator. The percent sign represents 0, 1 or multiple characters, and the underscore sign represent one single character. Using like operator, it is possible to search strings or substrings for specific characters and return any records that match the pattern. Question number 165. Write SQL query to find and duplicate rows in a database and then write SQL query to delete them. To find duplicate rows in a database table using SQL, you can use the group by clause with the having clause. The group by clause is used to group the rows based on certain columns, while the having clause is used to filter the groups that have more than one occurrences. Here is an example of query. This is a SQL code. Select column 1 comma column 2 till column n. Count all asterisk in bracket as CNT. From table underscore name, group by column 1 up to column n, having count all is greater than 1. This query will return all the duplicate rows based on the columns specified in group by clause. You can replace column 1, column 2, column n with the actual column names of the table you want to search for duplicate in. To delete the duplicate rows, you can modify the above query and use a subquery to select the rows that need to be deleted. Here is an example. Delete from table name, where column 1, column 2, column n, in select 1, column 2, column up to column n. From table name, group by column 1, column n up to column n, having count greater than 1. This query will delete all the duplicate rows based on the columns specified in subquery. You can replace table name and column 1, column 2, column n with the actual table and column names of the table you want to delete duplicates from. Note that you should always be cautious when deleting data from a database and make sure you have a backup or transactional login in case you need to roll back the changes. Question number 166. There is a table which contains two columns, students and marks. You need to find all the students whose marks are greater than average marks. List of above average students. To find all students whose marks are greater than average marks, we can use subquery to calculate the average marks and then compare it to the marks of each student in the main query. Here is an example SQL query to achieve this. Select student marks from table where marks is greater than select average marks. We use average function to calculate average of marks from table. In this query, we first select the student and marks column from table. We then use where clause to filter the result to only include rows where the marks column is greater than the average marks, which is calculated using a subquery. Question number 167. How do you find all employees which are also manager? To find all employees who are also managers in a table, we need to use the employee ID and manager ID fields in the table. One way to do this is to use a self join on the table where we join the table with itself using the manager ID and employee ID fields. The result query would have the following syntax. Select e1.all from employees e1 dot comma employees e2 where e1.employee ID is equal to e2.manager ID. In this query, we use two instances of same table aliased as e1 and e2 to match the employee IDs with the manager IDs. The where clause matches the employee ID fields of E1 with manager ID fields of E2. The result is a list of all employees who are also managers. Another way to find all employees who are also manager is to use a subquery. We can write a subquery to get a list of all manager IDs and then use that list to filter the employee table. The resulting query would have the following syntax. Select SQL code, select all from employees where employee ID in select manager ID from employees. In this query, the subquery in the where clause gets a list of all manager IDs from employee table. The outer query then filter the employee table using in operator to match the employee ID with the manager IDs returned by subquery. The result is a list of all employees who are also managers. Both of these methods can be used to find all employees who are also managers, and the choice of which one is to use may depend on a specific requirement of the query and the structure of table. Question number 168. You have a composite index of 3 columns and you only provide the value of 2 columns in where clause of select query. Will index be used for this operation? When you have a composite index of 3 columns and only provide the values of 2 columns in where clause of a select query, the index may or may not be used depending on the order of columns in index and the query. In general, if the first column in a composite index is used in where clause of query, the index will be used. If the first column in the composite index is not used in where clause but the second or third column is used, the index may still be used, but its effectiveness may be reduced. However, if the first column is not used in where clause and the second and third columns are not used either, the index will not be used. If the where clause only include the first column of composite index, the index will be used for that operation. But if the where clause includes a second or third column and the first column is not present, the index will not be used. Provides an that demonstrate that a composite index on C1, C2, C3 would be sometimes be used. You query based on C1, C2. However, whether or not to create a composite index is a trade-off between performance benefits of index and the cost of maintaining it. Therefore, it is important to consider the frequency of queries and their performance when creating composite indexes. What is the default join in SQL? Give an example. The default join in SQL is the inner join. It returns only the matching records between two tables based on related column between these tables. Here is an example. Select all from table 1, inner join table 2 on table 1 dot column is equal to table 2 dot column. This query will return all columns from both table 1 and table 2 where the values of a column in both tables match. If there are no matching values, no results will be returned. Question number 170. Describe all joins with example. So here are different joins in SQL along with example. Inner join. An inner join return all rows from both tables where there is a match between the join columns. Example code snippet. This is select all from customers. Inner join record orders on customers.customers ID is equal to orders.customer ID. This query will return all rows from the customers table along with the corresponding rows from the orders table where the customer ID column matches. Left join. A left join return all the rows from left table even if there is no match in the right table. Example, select all from customers left join orders on customers.customer ID is equal to orders.customer ID. This query will return all rows from the customer table even if there are no corresponding rows in orders table. For any rows in the customer table that have no matching rows in the orders table, the orders column will be null. Right join. A right join returns all the rows from the right table even if there is no match in the left table. Select all from customers right join orders on customers.customer ID is equal to orders.customer ID. This query will return all rows from the orders table even if there are no corresponding rows in the customers table. For any rows in the orders table that have no matching rows in the customer table, the customers column will be null. Full outer join. A full outer join returns all the rows from both tables even if there is no match in the other table. Select all from customers. Full outer join orders on customers.customer ID is equal to orders.customer ID. This query will return all the rows from both the customers and orders table even if there are no matching rows between the two tables. For any rows in either table that have no matching rows in the other table, the corresponding column will be null. In addition to these four main types of joins, there are also a number of other less common join types such as a cross join and natural join. Cross join. A cross join returns the Cartesian product of two tables, which is set of all possible combination of rows from two tables. Select all from customers cross join orders. This query will return all possible combination of rows from customers and orders table. For example, if there are 10 customers and 5 orders, this query will return 50 rows. Natural join. A natural join is a type of inner join that uses a common column between two tables to join them. The common column is automatically aliased as 1 and underscore 2 in the resulting table. Select all from customers natural join orders. This query is equivalent to following inner query. Select all from customers inner join orders on customers.customer ID is equal to orders.customer ID. What is union and union? I'll explain the differences. Union and union all are a SQL set operators that combine the result of two select queries. Both share standard picture with one significant difference. Union only returns a unique record while union all returns all the records including union. The union operator combines the result of two select queries and returns a single result set that combines all the unique rows from both queries. The order of rows in the result set is not correct. Example, select all from customers union select all from orders. This query will return a single result set that contains all the unique rows from the customers and order tables. The union all operator combine the result of two select queries and returns a single result set that contains all the rows from both queries, including duplicate. The order of the rows in the result set is not guaranteed. Select all from customers union all. Select all from orders. This query will return a single result set that combines all the rows from customers and order tables, including duplicates. Difference. The main difference between union and union all is that union removes duplicates rows while union all does not. This means that the result set of a union query will always be smaller than result set of a union all query. Another difference between union and union all is that order of rows in the result set is not guaranteed for union, but it is guaranteed for union all. This means that the result set of union query may be different from the result set of a union all query, even if the two queries select the same rows from the same table. Which one to use? The choice of whether to use union or union all depends on specific needs of query. If it is important to remove duplicate rows, the union should be used. If it is not important to remove duplicate rows, then union all can be used. In general, union all is faster than union because it does not need to remove duplicate rows. However, if it is important to remove duplicate rows, the union should be used even if it is slower.